That's his name, dude. Have you heard "Almost Famous" off the new album? I think it's I'll just play it really quick.
I was supposed to be in one of their videos. Well, I was there for one of the videos, but I didn't go in the back.
Night Vision? Was it?
No, it was I think Warrior or something.
Yeah. Did you talk to the guys?
We're
on now. Yeah.
We're on now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I will not bring up that stuff.
Yeah, no, he's actually sick. Like the fact that he tours around Abbotsford all the time.
I watch a lot of rap battles.
Yeah.
And he was in a KOTD event, and he killed him.
Yeah, man, he's actually got sick flow. Like, there's a couple of people. Have you heard "Coasting" by Zion I?
No.
Okay, that's a similar artist. He kind of has like similar voice to Madchild, but I couldn't figure out if Madchild has like a black guy's voice or if that Zion I guy had a white guy's voice. Because there's somewhere in there, like they're making it different. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I don't really care about voices.
Yeah.
As long as the lyrics are good.
No, I don't know. Like,
I'm not like, oh, this guy's nice, soothing.
not really soothing though, but like
you can sound like just a
people have
awful
flow though, right? Like you can't compare like Eminem's flow to like
no. You said voice. Flow is completely different.
My bad. That's totally different.
This guy.
Yeah.
Amateur. What is this? Amateur hour?
He knows his rap, man. That's the thing, right? But yeah, I was surprised right off the bat that you were from Abbotsford. Like that's the fact that Abbotsford's known mostly for what, farming and stuff, right?
Farming and the bacon, the Bible Belt, yeah.
And the Bacon Brothers. Wow, yeah. So what exactly happened with them? I think one of them got. He's
incarcerated. One has been shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a cousin who was like working. I think the day that one of them got shot, he was working in like a prison.
Yeah.
And he was telling like how messed up that scene was. Like people were rioting and stuff. Like straight up, like I think some people got killed or something in that. Like there was a massive fight. These guys are huge.
Oh yeah.
Right? And Abbotsford has the highest crime rate in all of Canada.
We were the murder capital per capita for a long time.
That's insane, right?
Pretty proud of ourselves.
You tell people in Toronto that, they'll deny it to the end, right? Like, Brampton's the shit,
Yeah.
That's funny, man. Yeah, Abbotsford was always like, it's also the fastest growing municipality now, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, people used to describe it back in the day, like, when they drive on Highway 1, they'd see, like, a couple of blips of
You're
lights
in
in the
focus guy.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
Me? Yep.
Okay. Oh, wait, this guy.
All right, cool.
So,
yeah, I'm on World Star. This is all I'm doing.
You're on World Star right now?
Yeah. Chief Keef, speaking of arrested and everything like that, Chief Keef was arrested for speeding, and then he left the court, and then he got arrested right after he left the court for trespassing. Yeah.
Cat Williams got busted for a lot of shit. Like
he's gone crazy. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
I don't know if because if you look at his pictures and stuff, like he's smiling and shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No one smiles when they get arrested.
Yeah. No, he's doing okay for himself. I mean, he's in the newest Scary Movie. Have you guys seen that?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, if he's in the Scary Movie, then of
course he must be okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
They actually filmed the Scary Movie before, like right here.
Yeah, I was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For that village scene.
So I guess I'm doing really good.
Damn.
Yeah, the iPod scene.
Dude, it's weird though that when I was putting up your posters that day, right? What's it called? Everybody had like personal like stories to tell about you. They're like literally every person I was first.
I get drunk a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. People know who I am. They're like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
He was drunk here once.
No, like that. I was going around the brown areas and stuff, putting up the posters. And yeah, like every single person's like, yeah, I know Sunee. Like we'll go out to his stuff and everything, but it's.
Yeah, I figure like fame is just if everybody knows you, right?
Yeah.
Like, say a famous person name. Oh, I know that guy. So I started off in high school, right? Everybody knew me in high school, and now everybody knows me in Abbotsford. Just one city at a time.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I leave for Prince George. I'm going to take that over next.
That's awesome.
And then hopefully just everywhere.
Yeah, I heard you opened for Brian Callen.
Brian Callen, yeah.
My cousins went there, right? Because they're fans of Joe Rogan, obviously, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, they were saying that, like, you ripped on some, like, white girls in the front and stuff. And, like,
probably. Sounds like
so
me.
you do a lot of crowd work, too, and stuff? Or?
I was emceeing.
Yeah.
So when I MC, I tend to do a lot of crowd work just to get everybody involved so they're okay for the headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't really, if something happens, then I'll address it. Yeah. Like, I'm not afraid to do crowd work or if someone's talking to deal with a heckler or anything like that. But I tend to just do my material.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if something comes up, I'll deal with it. I like it. It's fun. It gets the crowd loves it.
Yeah, it takes like a different kind of comedy too, right?
Like, there's a lot of stories that people try to tell, right? And I think everybody can relate where someone tells you a story like, oh, last night you should have been there. This happened.
Yeah.
And nobody laughs. And they're like, and it's like, no, you had to be there.
Yeah.
And that's what like doing something, a riff or something to deal with crowd work is. Because they're like, dude, this guy just made that up. You had to be there. This guy, he was wearing a jacket and he called him Blue Jacket.
No, it's always like the craziest. That was one thing that I look up always, like as far as who I'd pick for like my comedians that I wanted to follow. Anybody who could do really awesome off the cuff crowd work was like one of my criteria. Like Jimmy Carr, he's a British comedian.
I know Jimmy.
He's just, obviously, you know, man.
No, the guy, he invites hecklers.
He's awesome. There's a clip, a very famous clip on YouTube of Jimmy Carr.
When he rips on somebody's mom or some shit.
Yeah. This guy tries to make fun of Jimmy Carr's mom, and it's if you haven't seen it, podcast world, YouTube it. Yeah, it's great. For sure. Should we do it now?
We're having a bit of a problem with the audio and stuff. We can bring up videos and stuff, but actually just do that.
I can bring that one up.
I'm done.
Sorry, what was the name again?
No, it's all good.
Jimmy.
Yeah, people can look him up though. He's pretty funny. Other comedians like Ricky Gervais was keeping it with British humor right now. He's pretty good, like off the cuff and stuff. Yeah. Right? And then I don't know. Have you heard of Bobcat Goldthwait? Yeah. Okay, so I didn't really get that much into him, and then until Police Academy as a kid, right? Okay. And that's how a lot of people know him as, that signature voice and everything. Yeah. But he's still going.
Yeah.
And he's been sober since he was 19.
Yeah, I think basically everybody is still going. You just haven't heard of them. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're not going as hard. Ja. Like name somebody. Like Ja Rule is still going.
Yeah.
You know, he just got out of prison. He's huge. He's still going. He's not relevant.
Yeah, no, he's not
still yeah, he's probably still making a rap song here and there.
Yeah. Shit.
I think a lot of these entertainers, though, I think they might even reach a point where they recognize that their message kind of supersedes the need to be shown. You don't necessarily need to be in the public eye to be influencing or moving towards your goal necessarily.
Yeah.
That's why we got a white guy on this podcast. That's some deep shit. Well said. Well said.
And we always have the radio voices too.
Yeah. He doesn't really talk like that. He has the high. He has like a Mike Tyson voice off podcast. Another guy that is more local, but people know him. Sugar Sammy is amazing with crowd work. Awesome. He's absolutely great. He when he does an MC. If he's emceeing something, he doesn't do material. This is what I've heard, because I only opened for him. He was headlining, but all he does is he's so good at it.
He's from the East Coast, though, right?
He's from Montreal.
Oh, okay.
He's great. I got to work with him. I wasn't even a year in, and then I was opening.
When did you start?
April 24th, 6 years ago.
Wow,
it's been a while. Oh, and also Ian Bagg is another comic. He's from LA now. Yeah. But I think he was from Vancouver. But anyway, if you see his show, he doesn't. Everybody will leave a show going like, "Oh my god, this guy did an hour and didn't tell one joke."
Yeah.
He's so good at it where it looks like he's doing it all off the cuff, but it's all written, it's all worked, it's all great. And then sometimes he'll throw in something. He's amazing. He's great.
Making it organic like that, especially when it's written, like that's insane.
It's great.
Did he do the Just for Laughs tour? Like I feel like I might have seen him on.
Ian Bagg's pretty big.
Okay.
You'll probably heard of him.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of comedians that like. That's the sick thing about comedy is that there's always somebody you haven't heard of that is like a hidden gem out there, right? And that's I don't know. That's a lot of people have been asking though. They're like, as far as when I kind of tell them, we're gonna introduce Sunee D or Sunee D's coming in. First question they ask is like, is he like Russell Peters' humor? Like just racist humor, right? And that's surprisingly like, and I wasn't sure what to expect when I first saw you, right? That day I was doing security. But your comedy was like very different, right? Is that one thing that you had to like consciously stay away from because it was such a problem, or?
I don't know about consciously stay away from. There's a joke that I talk about. The first time my dad saw Russell Peters. Yeah. That I chose to write that joke just so I can address it head on. Because you're right. As soon as they say it, they're like, oh, next Russell Peters. Or they go, oh, yeah, this guy's like Russell Peters, I guess. Or just because I'm East Indian and I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. So
So like Raw, like back
so
in
so
the
yeah,
day.
so more. That's Eddie Murphy, but whatever. But
I
most of my
totally just like-
most of my comedy
Yeah.
influences from them. You
Yeah.
know, like in high school, I sounded like Chris Rock when I tried to do jokes, and then
Then your voice cracked and
yeah, all that stuff, and do the like that, and then after high school, I sounded like Dave Chappelle because I was more into him. So it's just influence. I mean, I was conscious of who Russell Peters was even back in like elementary and high school.
Yeah.
Because I saw his first ever Comedy Now special, like not the one that made him a superstar, but the first one. Yeah, and it was great. But that's how I grew up. That's why he sounds the way he sounds, because he listened to his influences.
So the majority of influences you're saying were Chris Rock and
Yeah, those are my two. No, 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Chappelle definitely, honestly, like his show was so awesome that I wish he hadn't left and stuff. Like that was, I don't know, that was kind of like a moment in his life where he had to make a decision.
Yeah.
But he was like, that was iconic to this day. How many of his skits are brought up all the time?
Yeah.
You know,
it's like it's
the Nigger Family, like to this, even like the not popular ones, right?
Or just
like,
saying, yeah. Rick James, bitches.
Yeah, that one's like everybody knows the Rick
Everybody
James,
knows,
right?
yeah.
Like, and you opened for Charlie Murphy, eh? I heard about that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that was like the big one that kind of like got a lot of people's attention out there, right? So like, I think it's on YouTube or something.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? That people upload videos on YouTube of your sets?
I feel pretty good about it. No, that one I uploaded.
Oh, okay.
So that one I feel pretty good about. Yeah, I don't like when people upload stuff.
Yeah.
Just because people think like, oh no, it's like more exposures. It's not.
Yeah.
It's because someone might be working on something, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
You know, or you just try something out and then it's finished. It's like, oh no, I already heard this joke. Or you know, sometimes it's not the format that you want to portray yourself.
Yeah.
It's like
you like to control your own
exactly. Yeah. I want the best of me out there, not just whatever someone videotaped one day. But yeah, the the Charlie Murphy show was amazing.
Was that like one of your biggest like sets as far as numbers, or?
Yeah. As far as numbers goes, that was and it was for the comedy festival, Vancouver Comedy Festival, and I just did a show at the Commodore like a couple of weeks before for Joe Coy.
Oh yeah.
And so it was perfect because when I did the Joe Coy show, it was big numbers as well, but it was my first time really on a big stage again because I hadn't worked with it. So when I got the big stage feeling, and then I finally learned, I'm like, oh, I should have done this more and done this more. I got the call for Charlie Murphy, and I'm like, oh, now I already know what to do. Mm-hmm. And then from then and then I did a show for Jean Lajoie. I don't know if a couple years later.
Normal guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a couple years later. Yeah, he's amazing. A couple years later, I did that for him at the Vogue Theater. Show me your genitals. Yeah. And so it was perfect because Charlie Murphy helped me prepare for when I do comedy clubs. Like I can just do what I usually do, small venues. Yeah. And when I go big venues now, I know, some little tricks that I learned.
So like, did you have to prepare? How much time did you have to prepare for that set?
That was only I think 15 minutes.
Okay. So like, you probably had some backup stuff just in case, like probably on.
Yeah, I mean, I generally will have like if someone says, "Hey, can you do stand up for us for an hour?" Yeah, I'll have it. So I have a normal set that I do and other things that I want to talk about, and then for that, it's just because it's such a big stage and, everybody, 1,200 people, you just do your best stuff. You just showcase your best 15 minutes that you have. Yeah. And, it worked out great.
Yeah, that was awesome, man, for sure.
This is a bit of a side tangent, but, I've watched a bit of Chris Rock, and I really do like when he actually, he talks about real subjects. He gets a little political about some things. Mm-hmm. Now, does this enter your mind when you're up on stage or when you're writing jokes? Obviously you have an opinion about these things. Do you ever think about incorporating them into the comedy?
Yes. Huge. This guy is all right.
He's my go-to guy.
Yeah, you should just leave. You should just leave. Yeah, put this guy on the thing, man. Yeah, I like, and the thing about Chris Rock is him and I, it's weird. I didn't realize this, but we write in the same. I have to say this. I have to choose my words very carefully. We don't write the same way because he's a way better writer than I am, right? Yeah. But we write the same way as in like how we write. he has, which is weird. I think him and I are the only people that still have a BlackBerry. But
he does, He does say how like he doesn't like to have a phone that's like touchy and shit.
Yeah. So when we see something that happens, or when I this is what I used to do anyway. When something would happen in real life, or like say I'm watching the news, and I would just have an opinion on it, and then just write it in my phone.
Yeah.
And then when I'd be on stage, or right before I was about to go up, I'll look at all the stuff that I have, and I'm like, oh, I should talk about this, because I'm constantly thinking about it during the day, right? But I'm writing in my head.
Yeah.
And then I would do it, and I would record it, and then I would see how it went. Because the first thing I just need to do is just get it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when I knew where the funny parts were, then write it out.
Yeah.
And then like change it up and like, and then, just take out the unnecessary words. But he is so great at that. He just writes stuff in his phone that are amazing jokes, and he'll never talk about them.
You saw this on Howard Stern, right?
I saw the one on Howard Stern where I was just like, he's never done that joke before about Chris Brown and Rihanna. Yeah. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard this.
It's the best joke. It was
genius,
ever.
Which is like, that is a touchy issue though, right? People bring up Chris Brown and Rihanna all the time. Snoop's interview, have you watched it when he was on Howard Stern?
No.
So he talks about that too, right? And the fact that he said this kind of shit happens in Hollywood all the time, and you just don't hear about it because, usually both of them are individuals that are very strong individuals. Usually in the relationship you have one person who kind of takes, sometimes it's the guy taking the bitch role, sometimes it's like, kind of taking like you're whipped to a certain extent. When you have like actors like that, both of them are like, essentially just attention people, so they're gonna end up like having all these problems and stuff. But it's just that you don't usually hear about it. That's what Snoop was saying. But Chris Rock's bit about it was like totally different, and like
it's a different angle. It's a way you've never thought to look.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Louis C.K. I think is the best of that.
He's awesome.
At an angle that you never would thought, because you're normal and he's not, and he just makes it funny. Like his jokes are not that, like, they shouldn't. It's amazing to me. I'm like, if any other guy were to do a joke that he does, everybody would no one would laugh at all. Yeah. And then him, he just has you in stitches the way he just talks about it.
Yeah, it's like Seinfeld used to make that whole essentially observational comedy, right? But like Louis C.K., I don't know how he does it, but it's like it's a step above Seinfeld. Seinfeld keeps it clean, obviously, that's his one rule, right? No cursing, no dirty words and stuff. But I don't like Louis C.K. like he's had so many awesome specials that people had never heard before. Mm-hmm. Now going back, I saw he always had that skill, but he just wasn't, he wasn't.
Yeah, his work ethic is unbelievable. Yeah. Like every single year, he'll write a brand new hour.
Yeah.
And it's because he says that. So he writes the hour, then he goes on tour for like how many ever months, and then at the end he has a special where he releases the material out, and then he has to do it again, and then they're like, how do you keep the fire burning like that? How do you keep your work ethic so strong? And he says, well, I know the next in 4 months or whatever, 6 months, I have a theater in Nebraska in September that has 600 tickets sold, so I have to give him something.
Oh shit.
And so he has to write that hour, or else, they don't have a show.
He does that, but at the same time, he has a crazy relationship with his kids. He puts out half of his week and doesn't work. He won't answer phone calls.
Mm-hmm. I think he's a really, really intelligent guy. There's actually one of clip on his show, Louis, where his kids are in the back of the car and they're driving out to see his aunt, or the great aunt. Yeah. And the kids are like, I'm bored. And he's like, you know what? You don't get to be bored, because there is an infinite universe around you that you have explored none % of.
Yeah.
And in your mind, it goes in infinitely.
Yeah.
He's on another level in that respect.
Yeah. And just how simple he looks at things, and he makes a joke out of it. Like the people, like kids today all have cell phones, which I never did. And they're just so unhappy with it. They're like, it's not working. He's like, will you give it a second? Just give it a second. Space? Yeah, it has to go to space.
Dude, we get 56K connections. Do you remember that? Like, can you imagine them having to deal with that?
I remember being at a nightclub in Vancouver, and I went over to the DJ. And the DJ had his iPad up, and he's looking as he's DJing. Yeah. And I look at the iPad, and it's a live stream on YouTube of Coachella.
Oh.
And the Tupac hologram just came out.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, this is Dre and Snoop, and they have a Tupac hologram. And he's like, this is streaming live from Coachella on this iPad. And I just looked at him. I'm like, I remember when I went to school and we had a black screened computer with green text on it, and the only game was like Oregon Trail
or like Brickles.
Yeah,
Brickles. Like
I don't remember Brickles, but I remember Number Munchers.
Oh yeah, shit.
That game tricked me into learning math.
Dude, one of my buddies just texted me. I don't know. He said that you walked in the bathroom when he was at Phoenix. He was taking a shit. I don't know. You just did comedy there. He's like, tell Sunny D he opened the bathroom door on me while I was taking a shit at the Phoenix.
Tell him to lock the bathroom door.
He's like, but I forgive him.
Tell him I don't. I don't remember that at all. I remember doing the show at Phoenix,
which was 2 days ago, I think.
Saturday, last week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, last week Saturday.
Yeah.
Why didn't he text him back? Why did you not lock the door? I don't remember. Probably because I'm trying to block that out of my memory.
Fair enough. On a different tangent here, did you hear about the apparently SiriusXM is having a comedy competition started on June 10th? You heard about that?
Yep. I will be there on Saturday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, June 22nd is when it's going to be there. But I have a friend's wedding.
Yeah.
The same day, so I come back from Prince George Saturday. I do the wedding, and if I can make it in time, I'll go.
Yeah.
If I can't, then friend gets married once. Right? So
that's true.
It's saying that you just made me think of something. When you go to these kinds of events and you have the reputation that you do people kind of expect you to tell jokes, or are you under obligation to really be the funny guy at these things?
I've done my share of emceeing and doing speeches at weddings.
I can imagine, especially at Brown stuff.
Yeah,
like, yo, go on stage, yo.
It's
Sunny D.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not like go on stage. It's already planned. But they'll come up to me, months and months in advance, like, hey, so we're getting married. I'm like, yeah, I can't wait. So can you do a little something? And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, every single one I go to, I'll probably do something. And the ones that they don't want, like they don't expect me to do it, are the ones that I want to do it at, and the ones that I hope they don't, and then those are the ones that
there's probably like half of the crowd is like old people that aren't gonna understand anything that you're saying anyway.
Half of the crowd is gonna be only Punjabi speaking, and the other ones are gonna be young and they want like the club. So it's a fine line I have to walk. I'll always do both.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, now that I've done so many, I got like a couple. I have a standard jokes that I do at like just the functions that where I don't really know the people that well.
Yeah.
And then the ones that I do, I just make up. I have to make up, and I know them fairly well, so I can just say personal stories.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like a lot of people did know you though personally, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
In Abbotsford,
I have a lot of fake Facebook friends.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But like you were saying that how Louis C.K. makes his comedy hour and stuff, right?
Yeah.
How do you go about starting, like, when you want to actually start, preparing an hour?
I do not know. But here's what I did.
Yeah.
The first time I went on stage, so it was April 24th, but they told me like a long time in advance because there were so many. The booker at the time got so many emails from people that wanted to do stand up.
This is in Abbey? Or?
No, this is in Vancouver. It was it's called the Comedy Mix now, but it used to be called Yuck Yucks. It's a club at Century Plaza.
Yuck Yucks reopened now, right?
Yeah, it's on Cambie and 12th in Vancouver. Yeah. So I just basically just took out a sheet of paper, and I knew, like, I was watching comedy so long that I knew like what a joke looked like.
Yeah.
Right, as in just the funny part at the end, right? Basically, some were short, some were long, and I wrote every single joke that I've ever thought of in my life out. Just wrote it out, and then I went to my friends, my East Indian friends, said, "What do you think?" And then if they laughed, I put a check mark on it. If they didn't, put an X. I went to my white friends. I'm like, "Hey, what do you guys think?" Check mark. Laugh. I went to old people I knew, like check mark, laugh.
That's pretty cool.
Young people, and then at the end of the day, these like 2 or 3 pages that I had, the ones with the most check marks, those are the ones I was going to use.
Yeah.
And then I had to do a 5-minute set. And then so I made it into 5 minutes, which I thought was 5 minutes. I thought I had 7 minutes when it was all said and done.
When you talk so quick. It's just
Oh yeah. So and then with the laughter, I even paused. I'm like, okay, I hope there's laughter here. Right? But then when I did it, I got through like half of that material, and the time 5 minutes was up.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I have 10. I wrote like 25 minutes, and like, I mean, it was awful stuff that like I don't talk about now. But, at the time, I mean, we got such a great reaction just because, it was what it was. So the way to start an hour, I think, is just to start writing.
So that was your first ever time you went out?
My first ever time was my 5 minutes.
So it wasn't like an assembly in high school, like that you kind of like did comedy?
Oh, yeah, I did that. But that was, again, just more Chris Rock. Like, I'm telling you, I had this is legitimately a joke that I've never told this ever. You got an exclusive here, guys. I went on stage, and this is in high school, and like I would literally said, McDonald's is now in my Chris Rock voice. I said McDonald's now is giving away free smiles because they had the whole free, like, smiles are free. Remember that little campaign that they had? Campaign. So I'm like, McDonald's now is giving away free smiles. Ain't no free smiles in the ghetto. Smiles are $5.95. If you don't have $5.95, your ass don't get a smile. I went, That's literally how my jokes were and how I wrote them. Like literally Chris Rock. I love this guy so much.
Man, he's
just awful shit. And then people were like, yeah, all right, we're missing class. Like, they didn't care.
And I get that too. I'm not a really funny guy, but I know
I can tell.
There are,
straight face,
but there are some times when I know that if I'm at a party and I'm saying something, I can feel that it's funny more than the words actually are funny. It's about the tone of my body language and the progression of the words.
Yeah, and it's interesting though. People always say that the most funny person in the room is usually not the comedian. Like, I don't know. I've heard this from a lot of different comedians. They're like, the person that tells jokes in like a social setting is very different from standing in front of a group of people and running there, like, because it's a different connection between,
a lot of comics live inside their head.
Yeah.
So if we were in a social setting, and a lot of them don't really, like, they don't want to be the big guy. You take that microphone away from them, and they're they do not. Yeah, they don't want to be social at all. They're kind of nervous. They're awkward. Because they know each other. They're comfortable with each other. But around the whole thing, they'll probably just be quiet and start thinking of stuff to say. Yeah. Which is probably the most funniest shit you ever heard of. But and other guys are just like, the big alpha male. All right, and they're just like kind of overpowering. Yeah. I like besides smashing mics, I like to do both. Like, I like being on stage, and I like being social with people. Yeah, it's fun. But it's what you were saying was the pacing of the story. I find if you are having fun, the crowd will have fun too. So like in the party, like you were saying, it's funnier than your, you know what I mean? So your face, without you knowing, says it. Yeah. Like, you're having a good time, you're smiling, you're like, oh my God, you should have been there.
Yeah, when I learn this stuff, and I know it's kind of weird to say you learn this kind of stuff when you're socializing, but I mean, sometimes you would play with it. Like, I would be talking to somebody about something very serious, and I begin to smile, and I see them mimicking this on their faces. And you can play with it from there.
Yeah. That's why, like, a lot of people say that, like, comedy is an extreme example of that. That, like, you're running like a whole crowd through just you talking, and like their delivery of the comedy and everything. You can change the mood of the crowd instantly, from being like shocked, to laughing out loud, to like, hissing at you and shit, right? So like it's crazy. Like, have you ever had to deal with really, really messed up crowds at all, or?
Yeah. Yes, I have. The worst was when I did a show. When I was just starting out. It was pretty bad. Yeah. I did a show out in Chilliwack, of all places. Chilliwack. It's
like the berry capital of BC.
Yeah, man. They once. I think Abbotsford has that title too, actually.
Probably.
Yeah, I was.
They have a giant raspberry sculpture on the way into the town. You
Yeah,
can't miss it.
for the berry festival. I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah, they just it wasn't anything. It was just the reason why it happened when I was younger is because I would or when I was starting out, is I would do any show, right?
Yeah.
Like there was nothing like it's like, hey, do you want to do a show here? I'm like, sure. Especially if I was getting paid.
Yeah.
Right now, I've turned down shows, or I said I'll do it if this is this. It just wasn't ran correctly. The room.
Yeah.
They didn't. The people didn't know that there was going to be comedy there. There was a fundraiser beforehand where the people got upset because their fundraiser wasn't ran correctly. It wasn't set up. They didn't charge the people that were already in there, sort of thing. They didn't tell them that there was going to be a comedy show after. So a bunch of things happened leading up to it, and then I went on stage, and everybody's talking. Nobody knows. I mean, the intro I got was, all right, everybody, we're going to do a comedy show. Sunee Dhaliwal. I was like, what? And then I just go up there, and no one's quiet. Yeah. No one's listening to you. There's no spotlight. So it's just a guy in the corner
with a mic.
With a mic, and I remember doing my jokes, and then I had him on board with one, and then it was like, oh, that's great. I'm like, perfect. I turned a corner. It was right in the beginning of my thing. Yeah. Turned a corner, but instead what people did was, because it's not set up right, it's set up like just tables, and so the people were looking and they were like, oh, that's hilarious. Did you hear that? Anyway, they're still looking at their friends, and I'm back here, and I'll never forget it. This guy turns around like halfway during my set. I've been up there for 15 minutes, probably felt like 4 hours. Yeah. And I just had 5-10 minutes to go. And this guy turns around. He's like, hey, no one's listening. And he turned around, and then he just continued his conversation. And it was the first time I was ever speechless, because he was right. There's nothing I can say. Yeah. Right? That's like being like, hey, water's good for you. And like turns around like, yeah, all right.
There's no response to that.
Yeah, and even if I attacked him, here's the thing, like if you ever attack a comedian, you'll always lose because of things that, like, people always say this, like, you'll always lose because, one, the guy has a microphone. You don't, right? Everybody can hear him. No one can hear you. Yeah. Right? Everybody's there to see him, blah, blah, blah. At this point, no one gave a fuck that I was on stage. Yeah. No one came to see me. No one can hear me because of the microphone. So it's basically like it's done. And till when that happened, I made like a mission that I will never feel like that again. If someone says anything during my show, I will end their life. Yeah, that's so and ever since then I went to other like comedy clubs, and I brought a camera with me. I hope I have this footage still. I've never put it online, but I was always like, I went home and I looked at hecklers and I'm watching it and everything like that, and I'm like, oh man, I'm like, I need to get one of these heckler videos on there. The next comedy club, everybody's been so nice, and I'm basically like antagonizing them by pausing for a long time and wanting them to say something. As soon as someone said something, both shows, it was like both shows in one day, someone said something, and I just, without mercy, just attacked them. The crowd went nuts. Yeah, because they thought
that's what they want, though. Like when they get the response, like from the comedian, that like sometimes people will just fuck with you just to get that response. You know, they'll yell out shit because they want to see you, like they want to see if you can hold your own. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, that and they don't want anybody, like everybody else. 99% of those people want to genuinely hear you. They want to laugh, and someone tries to ruin that. They're like, well, you know, this guy's like, why is this guy? Yeah. Saying anything. Yeah. So they're on your side already. Yeah. And you just have to say anything, even if it's not even remotely funny to whatever he's saying. You just be like, yeah, you suck. You hear that? But yeah, I attacked him, and I feel bad if anybody's listening. If you were at Laugh Lines Comedy Club 4 years ago, and I attacked you in a Scarface t-shirt of all things.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
My bad. I had a bad week. Everybody.
But yeah, like, what do you see yourself going into now? Like, you know, you started comedy and stuff. You're getting bigger. You're turning down gigs now. You have that point.
Well, I mean, let's not. I will do every gig. Yeah. I'm not big enough to turn down gigs. It's just if I realize that it's not done correctly, you know, it's like, come on, I'll pay you 35 cents. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. Do you think like movies, television industry at all? That you like, because like Hollywood North, you know, a lot of people come up here to make movies and stuff, right? So there's probably a demand out there for local. Because I don't know, I haven't heard of lately like anybody coming out of BC. We have a lot of like Seth Rogen, those guys, all Judd Apatow, those guys. Well, Judd Apatow's from New York, I think, but all these guys like Jonah Hill and them, they're all from BC, right?
Thanks for doing your research. I was on a TV show for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been in a bunch of commercials.
Yeah.
ICBC for a reason.
Yeah, no, I heard about the commercials.
Yeah. I was on a TV show for 2 years called Level Up. It was on the States, and it came here as well.
Yeah.
The first season did anyway. And it was fun. That's what I want to do. I wanted to be an actor all my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought stand-up would be a good stepping stone. Plus, I was really good at it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to try it, too, because I love stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And, but stand-up went so well that I kind of put acting on the back burner until recently, and then started going out for auditions. And, knock wood, got some. And it was, it's been fun. It's no longer... we did 2 seasons, but it's not going to come back for a third because there's a big campaign going on called Save BC Films. There's nothing filming here anymore because of we used to give filming tax credits.
And now because the dollars essentially.
Well, it was not even the dollar. It was we would give them $250 million tax credits, which were actually rebates. But I guess for some reason people thought it was a subsidy. But you would have to spend that to get it, and then in return, BC would get $1 billion with all the jobs that were created here in BC. Yeah. And now we took away that $250 million tax credit. I don't want to say anything, but Christy Clark. So they took away that tax credit, so all of them went east. Everything is in Toronto.
So that just happened now.
Yeah, that just happened before, and then in May was the election. Yeah. And so I don't know what's going to happen now that nothing has changed.
And they're taking a lot of money out of different places too, right? Like they took it out of education too.
Things
like our film industry is so big. Like why would you take anything out of that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sunee Dhaliwal needs a job. Everybody.
That TV show that just started here, Bates Motel. It's filmed in Aldergrove, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just saw we drive past the place every once in a while. But yeah, it's weird. Like I did notice that with the dollar coming back to par, there was less movies coming up here.
And I think the HST had a lot to do with it too. I think HST helps the film industry.
Oh, okay.
But so just those are the other things. The PAR, HST, huge thing with the tax cuts. Yeah, a bunch of things.
So as far as getting back to the hecklers a little bit, have they ever targeted race at all? Would you been racist hecklers?
No, but hecklers is there's 2 types of hecklers. A couple of types of hecklers. There's one that genuinely is an asshole and that thinks I'm funnier than you, or I don't like what you're saying, so I'm gonna yell out to throw you off your game, or I'm gonna tell you how I feel, right? Like, you suck. Yeah. There's another type of heckler who just gets too drunk or just too excited. Maybe it's their first time at a comedy show, and they genuinely like you so much that they can't. They're basically
shut the fuck up.
yeah. They can't. They don't know how to express their like of your show other than telling you. Yeah. Hi, you're hilarious. You know what I mean? And just commenting on every little thing. Yeah. Basically, the Little Mama disease. Yeah. Remember when Little Mama jumped on stage with Jay-Z? And she's all like, well, why'd you do it? It's like, well, I was just feeling the vibe so much that I didn't know what to do to express it. I just wanted to say it. And then Alicia Keys express it in your seat, But she got on stage.
The Kanye thing.
Yeah. Well, the Kanye thing was a lot more. He was trying to express his displeasure. Yeah. And then there's other comedians or the other hecklers that just talk to their partner. They don't think they're doing it that loud, but they can hear. So there's a bunch of different types of hecklers where it hurts the show or the comic. Yeah. Just even if you're talking, here's the heckling I hate the most. You can yell out, "You suck," or race things. I don't mind. But if you're sitting in the front or close to the front and you just keep talking to your partner about whatever, hey, are you gonna get the nachos? Because I was gonna get the nachos. That fucks me up.
So you can hear that shit though.
Because I can hear that shit and no one else can. If you're in the back and you yell, "You suck," everybody heard that. Yeah, now I can address you.
Yeah.
But if someone is just talking really loud, so I can hear them and maybe 3 other people around them, and it's annoying for the 3 other people around them too. But
the rest of the crowd isn't gonna have any involvement.
And it annoys me because I need silence for timing. Yeah. Right? I've done these jokes a million times, so I'm not even thinking about what I'm saying really. I'm just thinking about the next joke or when I'm gonna start the next joke. Like this is gonna be on, right? The thing? Okay. So basically, if there's like a chart, you do a joke and they laugh, and then like the laughter comes down, then I want to hit them with the next tag, and then boom, and then with the next tag. So I need that, like, just constant in my head.
Flow of
and then if you're talking and now I'm just hearing, it throws off my rhythm and my timing. Yeah. And I'll stumble and I'll be like, are you gonna get the nachos? Right? Like, they're super good. And that's what I hate the most. And then if I attack you and be like, can you shut the fuck up, please? And like, just say something. The whole crowd, there's just like, why is this guy attacking that poor girl in the front row? Well, she's a bitch. That's why I'm attacking her. Like, you can't shut up for like, and it's never something like, if it's like something like, oh, I'm gonna get the nachos, I'll let it slide because she's genuinely asking whether, but it's never that. It's always like, oh, Stacy just texted me, and it's super loud so I can hear. You know what I mean? Sure. So that's the most infuriating heckle, I guess, type that you can say.
I think it kind of comes down to how you sort of present yourself, because we're talking here, and I don't see you as what's the word I'm looking for? An obnoxious guy.
Right.
You don't seem that way, and I think if you were in, you had the audience watching this and you shouted "shut the fuck up" to somebody in the front row, I don't think they're going to characterize you as that comedian who simply lashes out when he hits a dip.
Yeah, but it does like.
But it does shock people. There was a time where there was an old lady in like the third row, and she was the type of heckler that was just didn't know how to express herself. Mm-hmm. So she was just all like just commenting on everything. Like, yeah, all right, then what? It's like, I will tell you then what. Just enjoy the show. I don't need this, John Madden. I don't need your commentary. And everybody after the show was like, why did every single comedian attack that old lady? And I'm like, you didn't know? And so, because like I was the headliner that night, and so I would have to, I'm like, oh, you're the one that everybody else was. Probably like 4 comedians before me, and all of them like said like, you need to stop talking. Yeah. But nobody around her knew, and she just looked like a sweet old lady. Yeah. But she just got too drunk off wine, and then so she wanted to comment. But the race thing, one time a dude did it, but it wasn't malicious or anything. Yeah. It was genuinely like he got too drunk and he wanted to be my friend, I guess. It just
who wouldn't want to be, right? Shit,
a couple of people. And so he just he said something about my race, and this is a joke that I haven't done yet. Nobody bite it, because it's gonna come out soon. It's a touchy subject. I don't really talk about this kind of thing, but like something that really annoys me. But it's always it's a thing now that it's okay to be racist to anybody if you grew up with someone of that same race that you're being racist towards. Yeah. Or if you can be racist towards Asians if you have an Asian girlfriend, or you can be racist towards black people if your best friend is black. Yeah. And it's not the case, right? So this guy was he said something racist, and I just looked at him. It wasn't even that I was offended. I just didn't think it was funny. Right? So I was just like, oh, yeah.
That's actually a good perspective. Like, instead of being offended, it's like, yo, honestly, like the joke is what
I didn't say I didn't think it was funny or anything, because I was on stage. I'm just trying to continue with my show. Yeah. And then he yells out, "Oh no, don't worry, my brother married an East Indian girl."
He yelled that out?
Yeah, because I just looked at him like, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that wasn't even a heckle. He's justifying himself.
Yeah, so then turned around, and I'm just like, listen, that doesn't give you the right to be racist just because your brother made you. You know what I mean? Just, that doesn't make sense. It's like, listen, my parents are mammals, right? So that means I can make fun of
on you no matter what,
anybody,
anything.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense to me. And everybody does it all the time. Like, oh, don't worry, like my friends are. I grew up with brown people, so I'm like half East Indian, basically. It's like, no, it still doesn't make sense. You can't do that. Anyway, so that's my racist heckle.
There was like, it's surprising that when you tell most people, BC is pretty good as far as racism. Like, we don't usually have that much in the form of racism, just because there's so many different types of people here. But in this area, Aldergrove, it was like a patch of racism. Like, it was a lot, and it was weird because Abbotsford and Surrey were so brown. No, and
there's still racism in Abbotsford and Surrey.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Yeah. It's just Canada, so people don't think about it. But no, there's a lot of racism.
Yeah.
Did you have to like were you one of those kids that got into a lot of fights as a kid, or like?
No, I've never gotten into a fight in my life.
No,
I've gotten like 3 fights, and my older sister beat the shit out of me every single time. I just don't fight. I don't fight at all. There's been times where like my friends can do the fighting for me basically.
Yeah.
But as far as fights go, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to. If my girlfriend got into a war of words and some guy slapped her in the face, I would be like, let's get the fuck out of here, because this guy's crazy, right? Like I wouldn't be like, oh, you disrespected my mom. No, I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, watch your fucking mouth.
We might get hurt.
I
might also get hurt.
Yeah. And I don't, like I get it, your feelings are hurt, but what does my face have to hurt along too? So I'm not gonna do it. But I grew up for the first 7 years of my life here in Alder Grove.
Yeah.
Went to Aberdeen Elementary.
Really?
Yeah.
Aberdeen, damn.
Yeah, it's a culture shock. Did you grow up in Abbotsford?
Actually, no. I grew up in Australia.
Oh, okay. So you already know about culture shock. What about yourself? Langley. Okay, so you're used to it with the whole Willowbrook thing, and but with me it was I went to Aberdeen with all white people. Only East Indian person was my neighbor.
Yeah.
Who also went to that same school, and of course my family. And then I went to Bakerview Elementary when we moved to Abbotsford. All brown. Like it was just, I was like, oh, there's one of me. And I like, it was crazy to me. Like I just, when I first went to school in kindergarten, I would speak Punjabi because I didn't know English.
Yeah.
Basically that well. And then I, learned English, grade 2, obviously, by then. And I get to Bakerview, speaking English to my brown friends that I'm trying to make, and they speak Punjabi back at me. I'm like, this is crazy. This is like bizarro world. He knows the same language I do.
Same thing for me. Like I grew up in this area is mostly white people, right? Mostly white people who, like, for some reason they never had, in this area they never had both parents ever in the scene. I don't know why. It was like divorce is a big problem in this area here.
Really?
Yeah. So like that was one thing that like they were surprised. Like, yo, your parents are still together? I'm like, yeah. They're like, how many years have they been married? It's just like the 3rd or 4th marriage, right? I'm like, no. Listen, like they've been married for like 25 years, yo. They're like, so they always trips them out. But it was mostly like white people, Asians here and stuff. And now though, the biggest sign that brown people are coming in town, cul-de-sacs are coming in. You never had cul-de-sacs before. White people don't want to live that close to each other, right? Brown people are like, fuck it, yo, like torca is gonna smell good in the neighborhood, right? And they'll just like build.
Torca is the spice that we cook with.
And they'll just build massive cul-de-sacs and stuff. You drive through some parts of Surrey, you can smell torca on the streets, like.
In my neighborhood, you can smell it. It's the worst.
Whereabouts did you grow up in Abbey?
Couple places.
Not being too specific, because there's gonna be probably some fans out there that are gonna try to.
Well, I used to because I moved now, but I grew up by Bakerview Elementary School. I'll just say that. That's not specific. And then we moved over by Mowat High School, and I went to Abbey Senior. So yeah, there it is. There's my for the 4 people that are listening to your podcast.
Pretty much, yeah. No, we're starting off like we're gonna keep this. We're like pretty much we're not gonna stream it yet. We're just like recording right now.
Yeah.
So like
till it gets huge, right?
Down the road, because we still mess
those Twitter
up.
followers.
We still mess up a lot, right?
Yep.
Like because we've had some major mess ups, and then we're like, okay, you know what? We got to go back and like start this over again. So
would you redo the whole thing if you messed up, or would you?
We
just
had
cut that
to
out?
Because we messed. Like he deleted. Podcast.
Well, that's more than just messing up.
I'll tell you, the very first one we had a friend of ours who we hadn't seen since high school, and we recorded about an hour and a half long discussion, only to find that the audio had not kicked in at all. So.
And this guy's perspective was amazing. Like he's a white guy. He went to India, and to South India for a wedding. And then he was like, yo, is there anything I should check out before I dip? And I'm like, the Golden Temple is pretty like awesome. It's a really, serene place and everything. So he takes a 36-hour like train ride up to Punjab and like just experienced everything there. Awesome podcast, but ends up getting deleted completely.
What it was.
No audio. And then so like it's like a growing process.
But didn't you have the video?
We had the video, but then no audio, right?
No audio for the video either.
For the whole video.
Cheers.
So that's the thing, like. And slowly though we took a lot of practice runs.
Can I see the video? Like, can I see myself on the thing?
You can see yourself on that computer,
but you can't see him on here.
Yeah, we kind of
shit is this?
Still working on it, man. Yeah, but it's sick though. A lot of people are just giving suggestions for where we should go with this and like different people to interview. And like anybody that has been like coming in with the podcast, they just want to be a part of it too. So, slowly it's gonna keep evolving. Right now, it's as brown as it can be. It's in my parents' house, right?
Yeah.
And like I was thinking, I'm like, he's gonna walk in and be thinking like, what the hell did I just walk into, right?
No, oh my god, I think my cousins are here. That's all I thought.
Probably, man.
Yeah. No, what I thought, what weirded me out was when a white guy answered the door. Because as soon as I pulled up, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the brownest house ever. And then the white guy, I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm in the right place.
It's funny how brown people build the exact same houses though as each other. Like they'll use the exact same layouts. Like I've walked into people's houses and known exactly where the bathroom is gonna be. It's only white people houses that you ever have to ask them like, where's the bathroom in this house?
Yeah, third door on the left.
Brown people, it's like, no, I already know. It's right by where my bathroom is. So,
yeah. Well, brown people, it's I don't know if you know this, but if one guy does something, we're very competitive people, even with family. Yeah. So if one East Indian person does something, oh hey, we bought our son new shoes.
I'm writing this down.
Yeah, write that down. So it's like, oh, we bought our son new shoes. Next day, my mom would come in and like, hey, we're getting new shoes. Like, yeah, like, I never get new anything. This is sweet. Just to be like, like we love our son so much, right? So like he's doing this, kid got an A, number 1 in his class.
It's funny. My dad, I remember when we got N64s came out for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. And like my cousins all had N64s, and my dad's like, your uncles, they went out and their kids were well behaved, so they went to the store and they bought them a brand new N64, put it on the table. So he's like, I feel like I should do something similar. So he's like, here's $50, go to a pawn shop and get one.
Yeah, my parents still offer me $20 before I go out to like a friend's birthday. Because $20 is huge money, man, right? For them. So he's like, hey, you want $20? I'm like, that's not even cover the gas to get downtown. We have a hotel room, and you gotta buy this guy a couple of shots. It's gonna be like a $400 night.
The worst, man, is like when you try getting money from people, like guests come over and they're putting money, like it's always that awkward situation where I've never had a situation where I didn't want the money, and it's always big notes because they gotta flash big notes, right? And then your parents will be like, oh no, give $20 instead, give 20. I'll be like, no, let's put it in my pocket and walk off, right?
Okay, we just lost a white guy because we're getting too East Indian.
Too East Indian.
All right, let's dial it back a little bit.
But yeah, man, it's always been like, it's weird the shit that our parents like have in their heads and stuff. But yeah,
I can speak to ages on that, but just because we've got about 15 minutes left, if you guys don't mind making me taking a right turn on this, I was hoping to get a little bit more of because I'm studying politics in school. It's always been my bread and butter. And I'm just curious, you're a comedian, you're standing in front of a lot of people, and
a lot of politicians that sometimes.
Really?
I do a lot of work. I've done stand up in front of Christy Clark, Wally Uppal, Sunee Dhaliwal, like a bunch of people.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when you're up there and you're speaking to everybody, there's a sense of obligation to cover certain subjects? I mean, we look at what's going on in the world. Do you feel like a bit of your agenda weighs in at times?
No.
Not at all.
No, my job, this is how I look at it. A lot of people do. A lot of people, there's a school shooting, blah, blah, I got to cover it. I got to talk about it. With me, my thing is, my job is simply to make these people laugh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in their life.
Yeah.
What happened in their day to get them to that show.
Yeah.
All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make these people laugh, and that's my job. If I can't do that, then I didn't do my job. It's not the lighting's fault. It's not the promoter's fault for not setting up a good show. It's my fault. I did not do my job. Right? That's the one thing I plan to do when I left the house today.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people will they'll be like, oh, the crowd was tired, or it wasn't this, or like, I want to talk about this. And I do. I honestly do want to talk about that. I want to talk about religion. I want to talk about all these things.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the school shootings and how it's fucked up. I want to talk about all this stuff, but I just don't know how to make it funny yet. Or at that point. Mm-hmm. And I need to, and maybe I'll just talk about it and I'll say like something, and then if it might fall flat, and I'll know for next time to try a different angle. But then I'll just go into a different joke that I know, just because that's not my job. You know, like
You know, one of my big inspirations was George Carlin.
Oh,
And this is a guy I thought that could amalgamate these two things perfectly.
He
was hilarious, and his subject matter was straight to the core.
And his writing was so great. Almost like sitcom writing. Like I always enjoyed sitcom writing. You know, like even like some stuff with animation, like South Park, right?
Yeah.
It was when I watched it as a kid in elementary school, it was just all these cartoons swear. It's pretty funny, right? It was just awful humor. Yeah. And now they talk about political things, like they covered the Lance Armstrong thing.
They cover everything.
Yo, and they made it really funny.
Yeah.
And the same way with George Carlin, like he covers something, and even Chris Rock actually, he covers something and he writes it so well that you don't even know that he's covering that subject anymore at the end, right? And it's you're just impressed by like, oh my god, he put these together. It's great, yeah. Like with Chris Rock, like his thing on one of the best jokes written wise was, I think, for me, is his stance on gays in the military. He's like let them fight, because I'm not fighting, right? I don't care if there's a tank rolling down Flatbush Avenue. I'm not fighting. So call me a faggot. I'll be the faggot with two legs, right? Just very quick and funny, and and I remember this joke that George Carlin did about I think football, I think it was, and just how it's like all military, but it was just amazing, yeah. And he covered it so well, and he can tie the two things in, and hopefully one day I can get to that, but right now I'm not there, so I'm not going to try to force it.
Yeah.
And right now I'm just gonna to go with something that I know I can do and I'm familiar with, and keep trying a little bit here and there, and then when I get to that point, then great. And then if I don't, then hopefully I can still go on that other angle. But that's something I've been trying to do and want to do.
It's almost like that in itself has caused like a new type of comedian to come out. Like now you have Jon Stewart and like Stephen Colbert, these guys that people go to them for news, right? They don't want to hear news on CNN or CBC, whatever. They want to hear from somebody, almost like comedians or individuals that people can relate to more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So why not?
To me, Fox News and CNN is just as funny as Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, well, in a different way, right?
Yeah. So, if you look at it that way, for sure. It's funny to me I was talking to this guy who's from Denver. He came down to do a show, and he'd never been to Canada. So he was legitimately surprised that I knew who Jon Stewart was, or all these things that are going on. Yeah. I'm like, no, I watch him all the time. He's like, oh, is it big up here? Like he just legitimately never been up here, and obviously he doesn't get any of the Canadian program, so he doesn't know that we get all of theirs. But I was talking to him, and it's weird to me. Fox News and CNN, all these things exist. Like when I go to a vacation, Fox News has their own channel, and it's 24 hours a day of just that stuff. Yeah. And people believe it. Yeah. And I look at our news, and you can go to any news station, CTV, Global, whatever. They're going to cover the exact same thing and talk about it the exact same way because it's news. It's not my opinion on it. It's news, and then I, as a viewer, will make my own opinion on it. Yeah. They'll be like, Christy Clark cuts back BC Films. Yeah. It's not going to be like a spin on it where it's like, Christy Clark cuts back BC Films. Is she buying cocaine? Right? It's not. That's not your job. Your job is to cover the news. Someone died today. Tell me about it. Yeah. And that's it. But the states have all these opinion shows.
Bias. Like,
and so much bias. It's like all right.
Fox, you can clearly see their bias.
And some people can't.
Yeah.
No. Some people can't. Some people think this is
it's
the
on
news.
TV, right? It's just like, well, they've done their homework. They put these people behind these seats, right? Sorry, behind these tables. Who puts people behind seats?
Yeah. and on the flip side, people are saying, well, you can see clearly the bias on Jon Stewart. And I'm like, yeah, but he has an audience that laughs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. His show is followed by a cartoon.
So that's what Fox News needs, is they need a studio audience to laugh.
Yeah, and then you'd be like, oh, they're joking.
They're not actually serious about being
not to be taken serious.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know, it's sorry, George Carlin. This totally is a tangent, but did you ever watch Shining Time Station? That TV show with like
I think
the little trains that talk and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Thomas the steam.
And George Carlin was
Carlin was the conductor, right? And the original conductor was Ringo Starr from the Beatles.
Oh, I didn't know it was Ringo.
Yeah, I remember like way back George Carlin, but I don't remember Ringo.
You probably love the White House Correspondent Dinner then.
That was sick.
Did you ever watch that?
Was actually, yeah.
Oh, I watch all of them.
Yeah.
Like not just Conan. Conan killed it, by the way.
Yeah.
But I watched. Have you seen all of them?
No, not all of them.
Yo, if anybody is into like political stuff and you know everything that's going on about like with the Fox News thing. If you watch Jon Stewart basically,
you'll get the humor.
I would YouTube White House Correspondent Dinner. C-SPAN has all of them. Yeah. They even have the president's ones too. But I would do what Wanda Sykes did. Okay, so here's a prime example. Conan can talk about the news and political and make it funny because he's smart enough to do so. And Wanda Sykes is a different kind of comic who I love. She did one, which I thought was one of the funniest ones ever, on Barack Obama.
Yeah.
And she did it off the top, and it got like somewhat laughs.
Yeah. And
then she just turned her attention on Barack Obama and talked about him.
Yeah.
And that's all she talked about, and like you know what I mean, like instead of the issues, she talked about the person.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. So that's what if I were to do it right now, that's what I would talk about. But I wish I could do it. Conan.
Who does Wanda Sykes go around with? Like I think I've seen her in a special with somebody else. Is she headliner herself, or does she kind of go with somebody? Yeah, she's a
headliner herself for sure.
Okay. No, I know she's. I'm just wondering if she had like somebody. I feel like I've seen her in some. I haven't seen like her personal specials, but I've seen her in somebody else's.
So listen, guys. Sorry to cut things short. We got about 5 minutes left.
What is the time at right now?
2:20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You have a laptop.
So listen, in our last little bit,
it's recording time.
Okay.
Is there anything you'd like to bring attention to? It doesn't have to be comedy related. Just curious. Any events going on?
Yeah. If any shout outs or anything that's going on, like what are you doing next?
Go to my website. I guess Sunee D Comedy. I will try to update that as much as I can. I have not. I am the worst at it.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Checking it out. It's not too. But like, is the schedule at least updated? Or?
I'll post stuff about my shows and stuff. I have a crazy busy couple of months this whole summer, just because I realized the show's not coming back, and so I just booked myself like crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll be everywhere. So yeah, check the website and I'll update it for the schedule. So
this is the website here. Yep, I got it.
Oh, you were talking about actors from Canada.
Yeah.
There's the third biggest actor from Vancouver, behind Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds, right? Your heartthrobs. Sorry, your heartthrobs.
Thank you.
Brandon McLaren is star. I forget what the fucking show is called. It just premiered. He's brothers of one of my really, really good friends. Shout out to him. That's why I'm doing this. Brent McLaren. That's the shout out that I wanted to give.
Yeah.
Alma Mater. His new CD is coming out. Very funny rapper. Very good rapper and very funny dude.
Yeah.
Who I talk about in my stand up. Other than that, shout out to you guys for listening. Thank you guys for having me on. So just check out the website. Sunee D Comedy is also my handle on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have Instagram yet because I don't understand it, and by the time I understand it, I will get one, and then Vine will be huge. Yeah, because I don't know what the fuck Vine is. Oh yeah, I'll try to put up more videos. I gotta get better at that. Other than that, yeah, Prince George tomorrow. I don't know how fast does this go up.
It'll be up by tonight.
So Prince George tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you guys are in the area. And Portland, Seattle. And then Laugh Lines next weekend. Comedy Mix probably the weekend after that. Yeah, it's going to be.
Do you ever do Yak Yaks out here? Or?
Yep. Do that time to time.
Awesome. Yeah, so sometimes you can catch them out there.
Comedy Mix also is in Vancouver.
Awesome. But yeah, thanks a lot for coming out, man. It was sick. Like
no problem.
We're just getting going and stuff, and like
it was a fun time. This was a good podcast.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be all comedy. This was just 3 guys talking in a room
Pretty much,
with a dude on a couch.
Just a random dude on a couch, man. The guy that opened the door for you, man.
Yeah. This is have you guys seen Half Baked?
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably. Right. Okay. Because
the guy.
Yeah, the guy on the couch. Maybe it's the guy, yo. He's like, get this Mexican out of here. I'm not Mexican. I'm Cuban, B. Yes, Cuban, B. Good times.
Right. That was terrific. Yeah. Thanks again, man.